we're back. We're back in the land of plenty. Plenty of dang people, but plenty of friends also. And we're here with some guys that hunt with us. You guys can go introduce yourself. Morgan, my wife, is back. Thank goodness to run the podcast.
I'm Jeremy, and I do contracting to pay the bills. Part owner of Backbone Mountain Guide Service.
Hello, I'm Erik Jarosky. I am a retired law enforcement officer, and I am the other half of the Backbone Mountain Guide Service in Maine.
Jim Mershot. Me and my wife own Rustic by Design Fireplace and Patio, and I guide bear hunts in Maine, and I help my son in Montana with some lion hunting.
So we're having my dad on this podcast also because you guys, the hunting outfit is based out of Maine, and my dad has been a Maine guide for how long now, Dad?
I'm guessing around 35 years.
So it's just like a correlation. You guys now, we all hunt West Virginia together. I grew up hunting there with you guys, and then now you guys transferred. You guys hunt Maine and do your business out of there. You guys were fortunate, and we were fortunate to have you as clients. You come out and did a lion hunt with us. Now that you've been back home and been stewing on that, I'm sure you told the story a couple hundred times. What stood out the most?
It was actually harder hunting than I thought. I knew it would be tough, and I thought, well, I can get through the woods pretty decent, and it made a liar out of me.
Yeah, it was off the hook different than what I was used to. You guys hunt hard. I thought we hunted hard to get up at 3:30 in the morning to go look for a bear track. You guys are up at 1 o'clock looking for cat tracks, and then once you get one treed, the walk into it, you got the terrain out there is unbelievably rough to begin with, and then put a foot of snow on top of that. Oh, it took the snuff out of me.
You guys are experienced hound hunters. You already had the mentality. You knew what was going to happen for the most part. How different was it being a client rather than a guide?
I'm going to say for me, I was the first one to get lucky enough to fill my tag, but, just going up in there, I'm like, I don't know if it's the adrenaline that's getting me. We get up close, and then you got big cliffs in there, and you're like, dude, if I fall, that could hurt, And it's like,
or it might not.
Then here I'm the one that has to do the shooting, and usually I'm pretty calm taking the client in, but, this was a different situation,
Was it hard to, relinquish some of the control?
No, because
let me tell you, it was the first morning I'm on edge because I'm like, yeah, we're low on tags,
Low on sleep.
Jimmy, he's like, we're going to check out this spot, and he's like, yeah, they have really good sandwiches here. I want to stop and get a sandwich. Then he gets a bowl of soup, and I'm like, I'm sitting here in the back of the truck watching him eat a bowl of soup, and I'm like,
what the heck did I paid for?
Yeah, I'm like, seriously? I'm ready to look for tracks, and he's up there eating a bowl of soup.
I learned that off one of the best, Dick Hevner, best houndsman I've ever been in the woods with. He looks like he's doing nothing, but always produces because he never makes a mistake. He's always thinking 3 or 4 steps in advance, and that day I knew there was snow coming down, and there was nothing that we were going to do to push forward unless things happened just the way it happened. And
yeah, it's fortunate to hunt so many days consecutive. We went right from elk and deer hunting one day break into hound hunting, so we're seeing game constantly move, and we had snow coming early that morning. We kind of knew stuff was going to hunker down, and even if we did find a track, it was going to be frivolous to try to run it until the snow was done. Because you don't know what time of day the track was made, pretty much. So you're not knowing. You have to do a lot of more footwork.
It actually is a good thing because you get to sit back and see how other people doing it. Even on Erik's, found the track 6 o'clock in the morning. Can't turn loose till 8, so it's 2 hours of trying to figure this out. I'm the type of been I'd have had dogs loose by now.
Yep.
You guys were taking a lot of the leg work out for the dogs,
Yep.
and figuring for the dogs, and that impressed me. I'll be honest with you.
So I can touch on what it's like. I wasn't being guided, but I had all of my guides there, and whenever you're Johnny on the spot and you have to shoot, and you not only have people there that's relying on you to make a shot, you have all the dogs, and it's pressure time when you go in. That roar, and then it's all fine until you actually start to shoulder that gun, or for me it was pulling that bow back. I didn't do very good shooting, but luckily you guys did.
Well, that's a great point that I forgot all about. You know, Jeremy and I have took hundreds of people into a tree to take a bear. Oh, it was a different story when I was getting took in for that cat. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just
You fall to pieces.
you do.
I mean,
and
seriously.
You look.
You get a lot of pressure on you.
You lean on the guy taking you in there.
Yeah.
It puts a whole different perspective when you're the one in the hot seat. You know, are you listening to all the things that was gone over on the way to the tree? You know, are the dogs all tied back? Are you waiting for the guy to give you the okay to shoot? It's a whole different ballgame when you're in the hot seat, for sure.
It definitely is. Like it never ever occurred to me until after I'd taken my line. I'm like, wow, now I know what the guys feel that I do this all the time with, how they feel walking in there. They're like, you know, you're their crutch going in there. Touch on what Morgan asked, do you have your own guide service and you're going out with a guide? Totally not me. I'm like, I'm here. I mean, I've been a dog guy for 30 years, but I've never loosed on a line before, so I'm going to shut up and watch.
Yeah.
I sat in the truck with Logan. That's when I learned a lot. Logan, right?
Yeah.
Because if that was a bear chase, I would have been like, let's go gather them up.
Yeah. Yeah, Logan's a third generation houndsman. He's savvy young dude. He's a little bit younger than me, but he's did a lot of hound hunting. He's got some powerhouse dogs. How'd you get introduced to hound hunting?
I had to pioneer it myself. I got out of the service in 1992, came back home, and started working for my dad. And he had a contractor up there running dozer for him that was in with a family back home, the Jones family, that run a lot of hounds. And as soon as I got out, I just fell in love with it. I'm like, you got to take me with you, and he did. And it wasn't a year later, I had my own hound running with him, and it just took off from there.
There's a little bit of a story back to that. Supposedly, L.E. Jones had wrote a letter to somebody in Arizona about a bear or lion dog, and that was the first first bear dog back in our part of the country since the bears basically come back. West Virginia tried to bring the bears back, and up at C1, where Erik's talking about, is where on the Dominion Power Company is where they first brought the bears back and started releasing them in our part of the country. I don't know the time frame, but that could be looked up with the Jones family and the Schrock families, kind of the ones that really brought it back to our part of the country.
Interesting. So you had some good teachers that you fell right in with, some old-time hounds family that...
I did, yeah. They were, some old-timers, and one of them just passed away, old Snuffy Jones, but, yep, they taught me a lot.
I remember hunting with Snuffy. How about you, Jeremy?
Well, I actually didn't start bear hunting until probably 10, 15 years ago. I'd always coon hunted a lot as a kid and clear up through. Always wanted to go bear hunting, but no, it's hard to get. These old-time bear hunters won't take people very often with them. They're like, nah, I'll take you sometime. So, and I'd ask Erik about going. He's like, sometimes, so it never did happen. But my stepson was actually real good buddies with him, and so he started hunting with him. He got a couple dogs. Then he turned, 20 years old, and he started chasing women instead of chasing dogs. So we had these dogs at the house, and I said, well, they can't just sit on a box. You just can't have a dog sit on a box. So that's when I started bear hunting, So they weren't very good dogs looking back at them.
So you just started yourself, going out and finding?
Just hunting with Erik.
Okay, I know you guys, now you turned it from a passion, you've turned it into pay. hunting, you're doing your guide service up in Maine. What drew you to the state of Maine?
We just heard about the bear season in Maine, and we're like, that would be great to keep our dogs sharp
There you go.
for
Yeah.
West Virginia's
Yeah.
season in December. Maine would be just perfect to keep our dogs sharp. So we actively pursued trying to find somewhere to hunt up there.
Right on. It started as just going to Maine and hunting for fun.
So for anyone that thinks that houndsmen don't do everything they possibly can so that
You're
they're
right.
getting the most training in as possible every year, so you bought an entire outfit in Maine to make sure that your dogs stayed in shape and continued to run and do what they love.
You're exactly right, and that's how we started going up there, because we're like, to actually get some harvests in and let your dogs get some bear fur in their mouth, which is their reward. We're like, we gotta look into somewhere else, and we found Maine, and so we got hooked up in Maine with an outfitter up there that needed somebody. They needed dog guys for their clients. They were booking dog clients and didn't have houndsmen. So, but Morgan's absolutely right. It started out as just a reason to keep your dog sharp.
Speaking of making them sharp, for the people that don't understand getting a kill to your dog does, it'd be like watching a professional football game and we didn't keep any score, and at the end of it no one won, there was no championship, everybody just went about it every single day, you played it and it was over. And they don't understand ethics and that whole thing. They are hunting that animal to catch it, and once they actually have bit a hold of it after it's been killed, it's a sense of reward that we probably can't understand as people. I mean, so that's why you're trying to get your dogs more of them, to fire up those dogs, put the light in them. I mean, because it definitely will.
Absolutely. I mean, we can train here all the time and you tree a bear with these dogs, and you have to pull them off the bear in training season, which is, they've done great. They've treed the bear, but their reward is, just like you said, getting a little bit of fur in their mouth, and they live for that.
Yeah,
Those dogs absolutely live for it.
Yeah, they'll naturally just run and chase and tree. That's what they're born to do, but it just that little extra spark when they can get something killed to them.
Yes.
That's their touchdown.
That's the touchdown. That's the championship at the end of it for them. That's right. You got to do a lot of hunting to get a good dog.
Oh, you do.
There's a lot of thought process that goes in. We just don't go grabbing dogs and every one of them runs and gets along.
Yeah, and I kind of had this discussion with your dad a little bit. It's very, very difficult to get the kind of dog you're looking for.
So you're running a hunting service now, so you just can't have mediocre dogs when you're going there. You gotta produce game. You're on the hot seat for a client.
Why don't we go into the time it takes to make a dog? What you look for if you're getting one as a pup versus if you go and purchase one off that's already been trained.
I ran into a bind where I didn't have that much good stuff to begin with, and then I lost a good dog. I got in the market to buy a finished dog, and I got so lucky, but I'm going to tell you, she made my whole pack. She was...
One good hound can make you famous.
Absolutely, Jim.
That's what I've
Yep.
always told everybody that's ever bear hunted around me, because that dog will carry a pack, it'll lead a pack, it will train a pack, it'll train the hunter, it'll train the guide.
Yep, she brought me back. She was an amazing dog. She trained everything that I've had after her. I got so lucky on that one because I've bought plenty of dogs after her and nothing. I won't do it again. I'll buy pups off of people like Jim and people that have good bear bloodline.
You'll never buy one off me, buddy. I always give you one.
That's true. That is true.
Turnkey dogs, you spend a lot of money on them. I know because of the bear seasons coming to Montana, a lot of the dogs from the West Virginia, North Carolina, Virginia areas, they were going west for big price tags on them to have strike dogs for our spring bear season that was just come last year. First time it's been going on. Can everybody agree 2 years old should be probably a finished hound? It
You should be doing it.
Yeah. It should be starting. They should be doing the deal. You should find out whether you got a superstar or it's just going to be mediocre, whether at that point.
Yep.
I think as these guys can vouch for it, in a 3-week period, we seen a dog in Montana that never seen a mountain lion. In the end of the 3 weeks, she's a proven dog at 11 months old. The superstars are going to be superstars. The guys that start slow, maybe above average, but superstars start out as superstars.
Absolutely. This dog they're talking about, she's losing her mind on a cat. I mean, losing her mind. She's going to be something.
And I think that boiled down to having puppies at the right timing. I would love to have puppies at certain times of the year, but you want to get a puppy so that it kind of comes of age for hunting right as hunting season starts in. And it worked great for Brummy. She was almost too small to hunt in bear season, but she got to go along a lot in our spring bear. And then she got to stew on that all summer, us running, riding, going horse riding, and we just did a good training lesson on her, and then she went right into lion hunting at under a year old. So it worked out perfect for age.
You take a young bear dog that has struggling just a little bit on treeing or something, and you get a bear that yo-yos a tree and will come out of the tree and run 50 yards and tree again, come out of the tree and run 50 yards and tree again, and that will turn the corner on any young dog that needs a corner turned on it.
The amount of game someone's catching, you can attribute that to healthy dogs. I mean, that dog's being hunted in the off season. He's being kept healthy.
Healthy dog's a happy dog and a productive dog.
Yeah, and they're running through a strict maintenance of that animal to keep its feet, to keep everything on it.
Yep.
It's not. It's portrayed. Everybody thinks that we tie these dogs to blue barrels and feed them gunpowder and lead, and we turn them loose and they go eat the ass off of a bear or a lion, and we shoot the animal as it's fearing for its life. And it's as far from what happens.
It's a lot of care, and even more training. You're training these dogs, just 5 days a week sometimes.
It's a total passion. If you're a dedicated houndsman, it's not a 9-to-5 job. It's 24 hours a day.
I saw a boy one time advertise a dog for sale, and it was tied up to a really bad dog box, and they're trying to sell this dog, and I'm like, if you want to sell your dog, show a picture of it on a bear, show a picture of it rigging on your truck or something like that. And oh my gosh, I put that on the comments, and everybody blew me up for being mean.
So social media is terrible for hound hunting. It can be great as a platform for our sport to let people see it, but it can also be portrayed terribly bad if it's not watched or regulated.
I see it a lot with a lot of young hunters in West Virginia that are just getting into it. They have to put every bear they kill on social media, and they'll show the dogs wooling on the bear, which is great for the dogs, but it can be taken out of context, just like you said, by the antis. And
the thing with social media is the majority of that is people that want to try to be famous, other than just keeping your mouth shut and wearing out a pair of Kenetrek boots. Mm-hmm. That's how you become famous as a houndsman. Wear out 6 or 8 good lead straps. Make 6 or 8 packs of bear dogs. Stay off social media.
Okay, but now, houndsmen, because I did not know about houndsmen before I had met this family. Houndsmen are very clan-oriented.
Erik just said that whenever he was starting hunting.
Yeah. So wouldn't you think that as an older generation of houndsmen, and you see someone posting something that will portray it badly, that you would take responsibility and go talk to the younger generation and kind of say, we need recruitment, we need the younger generation to get into this sport to keep it alive. This is why it's not a good idea to post those things, because it can be misinterpreted. And if you need to post those things, at least explain it to your viewers as to why the hounds are doing it, and instead of allowing it to have an open interpretation to anti-hunters and people that don't understand it.
So I think that you have a lot of that guys branching off and not being restricted on what they put on there. Is they're not tied in with those old group of hounds people. And it's not like going on a deer hunt. It's not like, hey, come with us, bring your couple of your dogs. They might be crap eaters. They don't want you to even bring their dogs in with other houndsmen that have been in it for a long time. It's very regimental how they do their dogs, and 1 or 2 dogs running around like idiots or chasing deer or things like that can blow up everything. It can turn a good day into total chaos instead of it running like an oiled machine. Those people that can't learn or maybe aren't respectable enough to bring only one dog or start into it slow. They try to dive in and they push too far, and guys don't invite them back to go hunting, and that's
Right, and we've ran into this before. So Jeremy and I are like, I don't want to sound like we're prudes, but we've tried taking people hunting with us, and we're to the point now where we have to know a good bit about you. Like, I got a young man hunting with us now that Jeremy and I both know. He wants to get into the sport, so we've been taking him with us every time. But that's the only person we take. I mean, we hunt in a small group, but we've been burnt too many times bringing a lot of people in.
yeah, and it happens. And then that young guy that doesn't have anybody to hunt with, and he's the one blowing up social media, putting it up bad. He's trying to get recognition from the guys that are into the hounds. They want them to see that their dogs are doing great, and it just backfires, I think, completely how it's supposed to be portrayed.
You're right.
What'd Walter Payton say? When you talk about yourself, you're probably pretty good. When other people talk about you, you're probably really, really good.
Yeah,
I think that'll say it about as good as it is.
sure.
It does, but at a certain, I think when you reach a certain period in hunting, you need to.
Go ahead and say it. Age.
When you hit a certain age, or it even could be experience in hunting, you adopt. I'm very passionate about making, like, the next group, like bringing it on. Hound hunting, like we've just talked about, I don't really know how to bring hound hunters into it because of what all we've talked about, but there's got to be a way to bridge that gap. I mean, to get them in there.
I think it's a harder sport to get recruits in because you're going to be running your dogs, and one mistake from someone that's not experienced could cost that dog its life or a hefty vet bill. Just like when we're trying to get Walker and Jay and Brock into hound hunting, and Josh is a nervous wreck sometimes whenever those guys would be responsible. I mean, I think they would lay their life on the line for one of our dogs just as well as Josh would, but it's still a lot of responsibility that you put on to a new hunter. So there's got to be different ways to kind of get some recruitment in.
I mean,
We got to be honest. This ain't a coon hunt with your pap neither. We're running something with tooth and claws. This is the best of hound hunting.
Yes.
We're running a big game animal that it's not easy to pursue. Some would talk that a bear is probably one of the hardest things to catch. I think it's way harder to catch than a lion. It takes a different type of dog. It can be gnarly at points and times, and I think it takes a certain mentality, a person to stay in it for years and years and years and keep doing it.
I think that's it in a nutshell right there, is because if you take 10 young guys hound hunting, if one of them stick with it, it's probably amazing, because you can't quit when you want to quit. When you turn dogs loose, you're done when them dogs are back at the house, tied up, fed. If they need veterinarian service, they get veterinarian service before you eat dinner. That's what has to happen. I'm lucky to be married with the amount of time that I've spent getting dogs at nighttime, all hours of the night, and get back up the next morning and go to work to try to maintain a job. There's very few young guys that are willing to put out that effort because you can't play it on your phone. This happens in big country. I mean, I've crawled down in holes and brought dogs out in holes over the years. It's just nobody will crawl down in a hole that has their right mind and says they enjoy it to pull dogs off of a bear caught in a hole. But it has to be done because they're not coming out of there unless you put hands on them. Today's equipment helps a good bit because you can tone them and they will back up a little bit. But as soon as they start backing up, bear gets aggressive at that point. But when you get there, they get super aggressive also because they know that you got their back.
Explain what a hole is, because
So a hole is West Virginia and the western part of Maine is full of holy country. It's a mountainside that's cracked open and rocks piled up that a bear can get back in and protect its butt.
and you've crawled down in the hole to grab hounds.
I've crawled past the bears sometimes to get dogs out.
Sometimes I wonder how I even got out of some of them without getting marked up. I'm jealous of Ben Duff because he does got a couple bear marks.
I
on
know,
him.
right?
And
I got to say the same thing. I am too. I've been stepped on by them, but that's about it.
Yeah.
You know.
That right there just touches on how it's you and the hound are a team. I mean, that wasn't even Ben's hound, but Festus jumped right in there, saved Ben, and Ben would have done the same thing for that hound. So it just goes to show the lengths that houndsmen will go to make sure that all the dogs come out of the woods and get to their dog boxes for the night.
So we just got this new section, this new township to run on. Anyway, we get this bear jumped, we get it running, and it's going into this section we hadn't been in before, and it gets into some young growth pine. I mean, they were small, and it was so thick, and the dogs had it bayed up in there, and I said, they're fighting him in this thicket. So I take a couple hunters with me, and another resident guide, and we crawling in through these pines, and we finally get, I mean, it's so thick that you're crawling. You're just crawling, kind of like being in the Laurel back here, back home. You're just crawling through these pines because you can't stand up. And we get to where the dogs are fighting the bear. We're right there, and I got the shooter right beside me, and I'm like, what can you see? He goes, I can see the bear. And I lean over to where he's at, and I can see the bear too, and it's like 4 yards in front of us. Just, he had that one hole. So I said, you get a shot, shoot him. Make sure you don't shoot a dog. So he leans over on one shoulder, and I'm right beside him. He's like, I got a good shot. And boom, he shoots. Well, I can see just a little bit. It's so thick in there. I can just see the black of the bear. And like I said, we're at 4 yards. I can see him moving a little bit, and then I hear a dog go, arr, arr. I'm like, oh my gosh. So I start fast crawling towards the bear, and I get in this little tiny open spot where I can finally stand up. And I stand up, and there's the bear. He's right at just a yard in front of my feet. And I don't know if he swatted the dog and made it yelp, but there weren't any dogs hurt. But he saw me stand up, and he forgot about every dog that was there, and he came right at me. And I always carry 44 on my chest and with a red dot on it, or a laser, and I put that laser, I could just see him coming. It was just like a total drill that we did when you're law enforcement. You do a shooting and backing drills all the time, shooting while backing.
Yep.
And I did that total drill right there. I was backing up as much as I could in them pines while shooting, and shot him in the head, but he was coming right, and he dropped right at my boots.
I've seen some guys fall clear apart on situations like that, bayed up. Like, I've seen guys just go into total shock.
Are they the ones that own the hounds, or are they clients?
No, the guys that have the hounds, they go into save mode, because
they go into save mode.
you are totally just only aware of your dog's safety at that point in time. You don't even think about anything else but trying to get the bear problem neutralized, if that is killing it or whatever it takes to get that part of the danger separated, and then making sure that all the dogs are good.
Absolutely.
And
So that's a common misconception, that houndsmen force their dogs to do this, put them in harm's way, and then if they get killed, they get killed. It's not really much, but do you guys have any stories of some crazy things that you had to do to save a dog? Or
I seen your husband pack a dog across the Blackwater River with ice chunks as big as this table, pack one of Dick Hevener's dogs that was chewed up a little bit, well, more than a little bit, across the Blackwater River, taking a chance of hypothermia. I mean, I've seen that. I see him jump in the Blackwater one day. We had dogs cold trailing, and Sis went through the ice, and he jumped in the river and busted the ice out and got Sis before she went under completely.
Yep.
I mean, we've all done it, and it's rescue, it's save mode, and it's without us thinking. You almost give your life for what the dogs give you. And I always tell everybody, you can't expect your dogs to give you any more than what you'll give them. You know, it doesn't matter how hard it is to get to the tree, what time of day, what time of night. If you expect them to stay treed, they expect you to be there.
You treat them like they're family members, because
I've shed way more tears for dogs than I ever have for people.
isn't that the truth?
It is.
Oh my gosh.
And if you start to look back, and the antis really see this as an open slate, most of these dogs don't get killed by a bear. Most of them are injuries, torn ligaments, like any professional athlete. You know,
Just retires them over time.
it retires them. There's only so many years a linebacker can play in the NFL, and there's only so many years that these high quality athletes of hounds can do their job. I mean, Josh has a dog out there right now. He's 13 years old. You know, he was my lead dog, and he got a torn ligament in his back leg. Pretty much ended him for being a bear dog in the eastern part of the United States. He still does a pretty good job on lions, even though he's washed up, but he likes to go. He was at a tree this year.
We took him this year.
And that's rough on him. I've retired dogs, and
He's still limping.
they hate it. You load other dogs up.
They
Oh,
live for
hate
this.
it.
Hunters have been using dogs as a tool for thousands of years, and hopefully we can continue to use them as a tool and a sport that generations can enjoy to come, and hopefully through these podcasts we can shed a little light on what we do, and hopefully bring some people over to our side and maybe portray it as something that is a useful tool. We're trying to get clients like information. Let's go over you guys' outfit a little bit. Where at in Maine is it located? Patton, Maine. Way up north. So your clients come in, how many day hunt is it?
It's a 5-day hunt. We have one big lodge.
Yeah.
It has a kitchen and a
Much like what we have.
yeah, absolutely, just like that. We have a bunk room up above the main lodge, and then we also have several small cabins outside of the lodge. The first season that comes in is hunting over bait. Hound season doesn't come in right away.
You guys operate that also?
We do. We
Right on.
get some good many guys that like to hunt over bait. We had a really good year last year over
High
bait.
success rate, I'm sure.
Yeah, pretty good.
Pretty good.
good.
If they do tag out, say someone kills, what do you guys like offer that they can go do, or do they just tag along on the hound hunt?
We got some good brook trout fishing. Most of the guys really want to go back and watch their buddies get on a hunt. We do that, but they also, and it depends when season comes in, because if it's early in the year, they can't do it. But a little bit later in the year when grouse season is in, the guys, I tell them to bring a shotgun.
Yeah.
A lot of grouse up there. We do a good bit of grouse hunting, snowshoe.
Why don't you guys give a shout out for your business, a place where somebody could get a hold of you guys? I mean,
Yeah.
Well,
Jeremy, do you know what the name of the business is?
I want to give Erik a chance to talk.
we're Backbone Mountain Guide Service. We're out of West Virginia, but we'll be hunting in Patton, Maine. Lots of bears. Come up and see us. We have a Facebook page you can contact us on.
For the people listening to this podcast, book a hunt somewhere that you're not comfortable going.
Yeah.
Because just to learn how people do stuff in different areas will just blow your mind. You know, when I first went to Maine, the country is amazing up there. I mean, you'd never think in the Northeast that there's that much country that's
It's
undeveloped. It's big. The North Maine woods is like 4.5 million acres of undeveloped country, not even a paved road in it. So then you go to West Virginia, and you got the most beautiful mountains and red oak and white oak and food sources. It's just beautiful. Then you go to Montana, you know, and you got the big spruce and the big ponderosa pine. Just book a hunt somewhere that you're not comfortable doing. Do the same species that you're comfortable hunting, but do it somewhere different so you can experience something different. We lion hunted in New Mexico. We hunted 16 days without getting a bark on a lion. But we're hunting bare ground, and it was just an experience to hunting with my son in Montana, where you find a track basically every day if you're willing to put forth some effort. You know, do something, expand your horizons, and book a hunt. I mean, none of us are going to, you know, live forever, and if you don't do something, man, you'll regret it the rest of your life. I think that's how these guys decided to go lion hunting.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it just seemed, I don't know, really, really tough, and that is a huge understatement. Holy cow, I get out there, these guys are getting it all 24/7. They're getting it, and then you get into this Montana terrain, which, you know, we all think we're badasses in our own terrain. And
Don't you guys all agree, though? I mean, we're all talking about running hounds, but experiencing different parts of the country. It's just fun seeing something different.
absolutely.
We shouldn't look at each other as competition. As long as it's a top-notch run operation, we should be a partnership.
That's what we're hoping this podcast will bring, is like-minded outfitters and guides across the whole country that can come together and offer kind of the same kind of hunts that we offer, just honest, hardworking, have a passion for what we do. And we'd like to give other outfitters a chance to get on the podcast and tell some stories and everything. But one of the best ways to find a good outfitter and to get to know them are these shows. So we'll all be at the Northeast Ohio Sportsman Show this next coming weekend to get FaceTime with these outfitters, to ask them questions. You can tell a lot what kind of hunt you're about to book if you can get face-to-face with them and ask outfitters the right kind of questions, which we do have a list on our blog of some questions to ask outfitters. And we also go through that in some of the previous podcasts.
Hopefully it's a platform everybody can get to know you guys, a little bit of backstories, and you're passionate about it. And
You know, nobody's out there promoting good outfitting business, and these two are young. You guys are young. You guys can work off each other. There's only so many bears that somebody's want. There's only so many elk that they want. So good businesses can refer to good businesses. And
That's right, yeah.
That's the way it needs to work.
And when they come to a hunting camp, if they're in the right environment, they don't leave as a client, they leave as a friend. And
Yes.
this lets you we literally get our hands bloody for money. I mean, it's what the name of the game is, and
Yep.
it's a way for you guys to share everything. And
Well, it's a great platform, and
I mean-
I'd love to come back out and see you because you boys hunt hard.
thank
you
you.
boys hunt hard.
Thank you very much. I thank all the listeners, and we'll be doing some more of these.
All
Thank
right.
you.
All right, thanks.